I'll keep looking for your phone. I tried to call it, couldn't find it. It doesn't ring.
Hello, hello. We are on day 6 of our Nordic folk art ornaments, and today we're going to be doing the snowflake. So, all right, we have one of you on. That's good. Okay, I'm just bringing up my picture so I know what I'm doing. Okay, put that in front of me. Yesterday we did our reindeer and I was just so pleased with it. I think it came out beautiful, and I just wanted to give you a little shot of how that glitter turned out. I got off yesterday when it was still wet, and so you can kind of see how it dried. It flattened out a little bit, but there's still there's some texture there, or 3D puffiness there from the glitter. But I think it made a nice little touch to our reindeer. So I'm very happy with how it came out, and I hope you are too. So today we're going to be doing our 6th Nordic folk art ornaments, and it's the snowflake. And I'll just kind of give you a rundown of what we've done so far. Boy, I really do need to get these all done so you guys can see what they're done all when they're all done. But this is our first one, the penguin. Our second one was the Christmas tree. Our third was the snowman. Our fourth was the stocking. Our fifth, which was yesterday, was the reindeer. And this will be our 6th design. So all super fun. I'm thoroughly enjoying this, and I'm feeling the Christmas vibes as I create with you. It's been really a good thing. So I got my watercolor paper. You're going to want to cut out your piece of paper that has your design on it. And we're going to transfer this onto the watercolor paper. I'm Erica Joanne, and I am an artist that teaches. So all the artwork I do is teachable art or instructional art. And you don't have to be an artist yourself to create with me, because I create patterns and designs and I walk you step by step through the process. So you can be creative too and have a lot of fun with it. It can be actually a relaxing experience. And I've had several people comment to me that it is very relaxing. So I hope you find that today as you work with me. If you haven't downloaded this pattern, the pattern is on our website at ericajoanne.com. That's ERIKAJOANNE.com. If you go there, you can follow the links and you'll find where you can download the e-patterns. We have 4 e-patterns. Let's see, three e-patterns so far that are available. And each e-pattern includes 2 designs. So, if you get all 3, you'll have 6 designs. And this is, kind of a fun Christmas thing. So I reduced the price on the e-patterns and made them so that they're easy to afford and you can have fun with me this Christmas season. Okay, so you want a piece of watercolor paper. This is 140 cold press. It has some texture on one side because of the cold press, which means it hasn't been heated so hot that it's flat. It's got a little bit of texture going on there. Oh, I'm seeing the comments come in now. Thank you. So I see Linda from New Hampshire, Robin, Pat, Sharon from New Hampshire, Cindy from Georgia. Robin, she says she got her order today. It took the post office 8 days past. Oh gosh. I'm so glad it got to you though, Robin. That was the order that was just circling the globe, wasn't it? It was just like doing circles. So I'm glad you got it. Thanks for letting us know. And Valerie, she's on her way home from a trip to Missouri, watching in the car. And hello, Mary from California. Awesome. And Carol from Windy Lee's Summit, Missouri. Y'all stay safe out there, okay? Because boy, the weather's been frightful. It has. So, okay, so you want a piece of watercolor paper that will fit this design. And I found one that just barely fit. I'm going to make it work. And you want your painter's tape. Grab mine here. It's hiding from me. Okay. I just got off with my Secret Garden Whimsy group. We call them our Whimsies. They are the art subscription box members, and we were doing a class today. We had a little bit of trouble with the internet today, so hopefully we'll have better luck. I'm just crossing my fingers. Have better luck this later on this day here. Okay, so you want to tape that down. Make sure you're on the right side of your watercolor paper. The right side on cold press is kind of like a soft model. It looks, kind of textured, but it's a soft texture. And you want a stylus or a sharp pencil. I'm going to use my sharp pencil today, and some graphite paper. Okay, just go ahead and slip that under your design. The next batch or the next 2 designs will be coming out. Let's see, today is Thursday. It'll be sometime is it tomorrow? Just trying to think here. Yeah, sometime tomorrow you'll see the next design, and I will be sending an email out. This last time I cut it so close. Oh my gosh, it was way too close to the class. So I'll try not to do that, but it's tough. There's a lot going on, you guys. It's December, right? There's so much going on. So I will try to get that done as quick as I can and ready for you. But we have another set of ornaments to do, and actually 4 more ornaments left because we're doing this for 10 days. 4 more ornaments in the Nordic theme. I've really enjoyed this theme. I could just keep going. It's been so fun. And Valerie says her grandson graduated from basic training in the Army, and yes, it was windy. You saw a semi blown over. Oh my goodness. And Robin says it's been dark and rainy there in Illinois. We started out 50 and low tonight will be 13. Yikes. That's cold. We are just cloudy and somewhat windy and rainy. That's the weather here. It's cold too. So a little bit chilly out there, but it's not 13 degrees. So I feel for you. Not jealous though. I like cold weather, but that's a little bit much. Okay, I'm just checking my tracing. While we're doing this, I was doing this earlier with my Facebook group, and it was kind of fun. So I'm going to give you some this or that questions that have to do with the holidays. Okay? All right. So let's see. I got to think about it for a second. Would you rather decorate with snowmen or poinsettias? What would you rather decorate with? Snowmen or poinsettias? When I was growing up, we always had a big poinsettia that my parents would purchase. And that was kind of their tradition. They always got one every winter. And my mom would keep it alive as long as she could. And it would always get big, huge leaves on it. She was good with plants. And I saw some poinsettias in the store the other day, and I was like really tempted to grab one. I wanted one. So I see a lot of snowmen. Oh, I see a poinsettia. There's a poinsettia. Okay. Okay. This next question. At Christmas time, let's just say Christmas Day, on Christmas Day, would you rather have tropical sunshine or snow? Tropical sun or snow on Christmas Day? I know we all have what we like, It's kind of a hard one for me because I love snow. I love, love, love snow. Sometimes we get it here. We get it here about once a year, but it usually melts away pretty quickly. Let's see, lots of snow. Cindy says snow, but we do not see much of it in middle Georgia. And Gretchen Hillman she says snow because she lives in Arizona. Carol May says tropical sun. And then Robin says snow if it would warm up and melt the next day. Kind of like Frosty the Snowman. He'll be back again one day. Okay. Okay. All right. So your Christmas dinner. Let's see. Gotta think about it. Traditional or different? I'll just say different because it could be like, traditional is more like turkey or ham, and then different would be like shrimp or, salmon or something like that. What would you like for Christmas dinner? Traditional or different? I see a lot of traditionals. We have some friends, they always have lobster. And then we have some other friends, they have tamales. It's kind of their tradition. They do something different. So I was curious what you would like. Oh, thank you. We'll put that right here. That's nice. Thank you, hon. My husband brought out a nice iPad so I can look at your comments easier. Okay, thank you. So Marianne Baumgart says different. They're having barbecue brisket this year. That sounds yummy. And then Robin says any traditional, but anything would be fine as long as I'm with my family or friends. Yeah. That's really what counts, right? It doesn't always matter what we eat, just that we're together. Okay, I'm still tracing here. Remember to get your circle in around your whole design so that you know how to cut it out, because otherwise you won't have that guideline there, which is something I always forget. So I'm not going to forget today though. All right, that's done. One more. One more. Okay. So on Christmas Day, would you rather stay home the whole day? Or do you like to go out and do stuff on Christmas Day? I know my brother and sister-in-law, they always go see a movie on Christmas Day. So do you like to stay in or go out? I think I'd rather stay in because I like to play with my toys. Just whatever is there that we got for Christmas, I like to enjoy it and enjoy being with my family. I kind of like that part of Christmas. Just a day where you're like in your pajamas. I love it. Okay, I got all that part done. So now I want to make sure and put my circle in all the way around. And definitely don't miss putting the little oblong hole or rectangle hole. in it also. Okay, yeah. There we go. So a lot of you say stay home, home. Gretchen says movie early evening if no family's in town. Yeah, that's kind of nice too. Marianne says go cross country skiing or snowshoeing. You're amazing. That's awesome. Yeah. Well, that's fun. Christmas is just fun. Okay, let's get this ready to do our washes. And we'll start out with yellow like we've been doing all along. Yellow is a great place to start. So just a little bit will go a long way. Just a little chocolate chip. So these are the larger tubes that you can purchase from us. They are 2.5 ounces. And then there's also the option, I should show you this. We have different paint sets, which are really nice. Put this out here. You can see it closer. Okay, so here's one. It's kind of open, but this is the salmon berry set, and it has 5 colors. You can see they're oranges and yellows. So there's different options there. You can buy the little sets from us that have these tubes. This is what the tubes look like that. These are 20 milliliters or 2/3 ounces. And the sets come with different colors. So each set is a little different. We have, I want to say 5 different sets. We've got the salmon berry, cascade, blackberry, northwest, berry. No, there's one more. I'm missing it in my head. Blackberry, salmonberry. Anyway, so you can check those out on our website and see what is offered there. If you want to just get started, those little paint sets are kind of nice because you don't have to invest too much and they're pretty reasonable. For an artist quality paint, they are very reasonable. Okay, we're going to just pull out our yellow down a little bit from our puddle. How is the lighting today? We are doing it a little different. Yesterday it was kind of like orangey, or our lighting was not so great. The color on the screen wasn't that great. So we are doing it different. And so I'm just curious, is it coming through okay? All right, we were going to want to do the flower petals around this flower in the center. And I'm just using a number 3 round. And I just work on each petal one at a time. Okay. And then we have all the other flower petals, the 3 different flower petals. So, oops, a little too much moisture. When it does this little bubble, it means you have too much moisture in your brush. So you just tap your brush onto your paper towel, and that will take out some of that excess moisture. It's nice to have a little bit of moisture in your brush because it helps your paint flow a little better. But when it's too much, it will bubble up on the surface there. Okay. So you have those 3 sets of flower petals in yellow. Now let's do our blue. And that is Colony Blue, just watered down. Okay. Watered down pretty good. So it's an inky consistency. Take out a little extra moisture on your paper towel. And you can just fill in this whole area because we will go back in and darken the teardrop inside that petal. Oops, I kind of smeared my yellow a little bit right there, but it's in a spot where there's going to be some green for the leaves, so I'm just going to leave it. Okay, same thing here. Let's just do the whole leaf, and we can go back and add the dark later, both sides. Okay, turn around. We don't have any there. We're going to repeat it again here. And here. And Pat's asking, can I do this pattern on wood only? You could. It will have a different look to it because you could certainly try though. It's going to have a little different look to it because you are doing washes on white. So, I mean, you could paint the wood white. It's just going to be a little darker. Just know that the colors will be slightly different, but you can certainly do that. It is possible. I work on wood all the time. And sometimes I do washes on wood, like what we're doing today. Okay. Okay, that's for our light blue areas. We'll just leave it at that. Robin says it's so much better. I agree. I don't know. We were messing around. We'll keep trying, but I think this is a lot better. We're streaming a little differently this time, so I don't know if that has something to do with it. Could be. Okay, we're going to let that dry before we go in with more blues. How about we kind of switch over to the green? And let's start out with our light green, which is 1-to-1 pine green and Turner's yellow. So add a little bit of pine green to your palette. Just a touch. And it's just 1-to-1. So we're going to grab some Turner's yellow and pine green. maybe a little bit more. Mix them together. You get kind of a medium green looking, and then you're going to water that down. Add water to it so it's a light green. Pat your paper towel with your brush, and we'll go in and do the light green areas. So again, we can just kind of do the whole green leaf and then go back over with the darker green. And I'm just working on the tip of my brush, just very light, no pressure at all on my brush. I'm just being very light. Okay, let's do all those holly leaves. A few years back, we had a tornado come through our town just about this time of year. It was mid-December, and it did like landfall in town and went through a neighborhood and took out some roofs and a business or two. That was crazy stuff to think about. We had a tornado go through our town. Our town's not known for tornadoes at all. So we were feeling pretty bad for all those families. Okay. Right, getting those green areas in. Now we have some more dark green. These are actually the light green that we're working on. So we're not going to worry about the hearts at the bottom. Let's just do the tips here, these leaves right here at the ends. And then the top two leaves on that same branch. There we go. So we'll do that on each of those sections. And a few more here. And one right here. And then one more set of light green. Okay. Okay, I think that's it for our light green. It's kind of fun to do a repeated pattern type design. I like that. It'd be fun to do a whole set of these. Okay, where are we with comments? Hi, Liz. How are you? Did you survive the storms and stuff over in Seattle? And hi, Marilyn from Utah. Good to see you on. I'm so grateful you guys are finding me over on YouTube because I know it is a little change from what we're used to over on Facebook, but I really appreciate you coming on over here. Okay, let's do our dark green. That is 2 parts dark green or pine green and 1 part brown earth. So you still have your pine green there on your palette. You just need a little bit of brown earth. We had so much fun yesterday with the little reindeer. And you guys, I wish I had practiced the word snowflake in Norwegian, but I didn't practice it. So I don't even want to attempt it, but I'll see if I can't bring it up somewhere. I don't have my regular computer here, so maybe not. But maybe in your home you can do that. You can practice the word snowflake in Norwegian and see if you can say it. Yesterday's word, I just, well, I didn't know if I could say it. I mean, it's spelled rain, R-E-I-N, for reindeer. This is what we did yesterday. But that's not how they pronounce it. They're like, Erin, something like that. Erin. So, yeah, I butchered it. And I'm not even going to attempt today because I didn't even practice it. But I know it's different than we pronounce snowflake. So you want 2 parts of pine green, like so, and 1 part brown earth. Mix that together. You're going to come up with a darker sage green and then add some water. Now this needs to be darker than our light green. So if it's not darker, keep adding some more pigment to it. Okay, we're going to work on the bottom of our holly. So I'm just putting a line in like so. And then I'm going to just working on the tip of my brush. You could use a liner brush for this if you wanted. Adding the dark part of the holly. So that's what I want. I'm looking for. Okay, we'll do that on the other side. If you're new to my channel and you want to paint like this, you can. You can. You absolutely can. We teach you step by step how to use your brushes, how to use your paint, how to use your pencils. And you don't have to be an artist to participate in art. Everything that we give you is instructional and we help you step by step. So you receive the line drawings, extra helps in your pattern packets like shading guides. It's just, all it is something new to you probably, and you just need to learn it. Just like a person does a sewing pattern or a knitting pattern. They just have to learn the skill and then they can do it. So we're here to help. We have wonderful teachers that love to teach art and they're good at it. Look us up on on the web. Our website is ericajoanne.com. And it's ERIKAJOANNE.com. I'm doing the bottom half of each of the holly leaves with the dark green. Okay. I like that change of, the light and the dark. I really like that together. Okay, we're going to work on the bottom small leaves. Right here. Here. Like that. And then just work around and do all those small leaves on the bottom. They should be a little darker. If we need to, we might need to do a second coat just to darken them up a little more. Okay. But you always want to let that first coat dry before you put a second coat on. It works so much better. Okay. And then there's these larger hearts. So find the larger hearts and we'll add the dark green to those. They're at the bottom of the blue sections. Like that. Well, hi, Gloria. Good. I'm glad you printed it. That's good. We were doing a pattern for our subscription box earlier today. It's called Tea Time Tweet. And it does have a bird in it. Okay. Now I think I'll go back and just kind of do another coat on our darker leaves, these little small ones, just to darken them up a little more. Okay. And then maybe a little more on our hearts. Okay. That's fun. I love it. Okay, rinse your brush out. Did we get it all? Oh, we got our little bulbs underneath the flowers. So we're going to do that still. So we've got these little bulbs right here. It's at the top of the stem. There's 3 of them. 1, 2, and 3. Tap, tap, tap. Get it in there. Okay, shall we do our dark blue? Let's do that. We've got colony blue and brown earth, and it should still be on your palette. So you're going to use colony blue, just a tiny touch of the brown earth. So just get a little color on the tip of your brush and put it in with your colony blue. And then water it down a little bit. Okay. Take out some moisture and we'll see how it goes. We want to do this center kind of teardrop part of the leaf. And it does need to be darker. So if you need a little more brown earth in there to help darken it. So inside all those blue leaves is a darker, smaller leaf. Okay, a little more. Right. Oh, we got one here. I can't miss that one. And then 3 more here. And one up here. All right. What else? Oh, we've got those. They're like little comma strokes on the sides here. And these, again, just like our green leaves, I'll probably need to go back over it with the second coat. We'll see how it goes. And these are also every other section. One more here. Okay. Just looking. Oh, you know what? This was supposed to be brown. Well, we'll have to change that up. Okay. I'm just going to go back and kind of repeat these so that they're nice and dark. Okay. Well, those middle ones right there, with them being brown, I don't think that will be too hard to change. We can make that change. Okay, one more question. Let's see. Okay, thinking. Okay, on Christmas, well, let's see. Just Christmas in general, during the Christmas holiday season, do you like to listen to the old classic Christmas songs or do you like to listen to the new stuff? Old or new? I love the classics. I do like new, but I think I lean more like I feel like if Christmas went without the classics, I would feel like it wasn't Christmas. So I do enjoy the old classics. And I was thinking about it the other day. I was like, Bing Crosby, when he did like I'm Dreaming of a White Christmas, when he sang that song, was he thinking, wow, this is gonna last for ages? I bet not. He probably thought this won't, last too long, or I don't know, maybe people will like it for a little while, but he'd probably be surprised to know that we're still enjoying that song this year. 2025, we are loving his song. And Nat King Cole. So, and Robin says, Country Christmas, old first and then Country Christmas. Yes, that's fun. And Marianne says, any of them, classic to modern, doesn't matter. It's all fun, right? That's cool. Okay, let's do our brown. We don't need to actually put more brown on our palette. We can just take the brown and let's put some water into it. Get it nice and inky in consistency. You want it kind of drippy wet. Take a little moisture out on your paper towel. Let's go over these spots that should have been brown and see how it goes. Oh, yeah, that will work okay. Okay, another question. What do you like better? Do you like this is another one, old classics like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer? I'm talking movies on TV. Movies, like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer or Frosty the Snowman. You like those older classic movies, or do you like the new stuff like Elf or Jingle Jangle or some of those newer shows that are on? Okay, I just did brown over those blue spots that I needed to do. It looks a little bit dark on the screen, but in person you can see the brown. And then we're also going to want to add some brown. And I know it's not going to look the same, but we'll probably put 2 coats over it also. Make it a little darker. These little brown leaves here. Okay, and then the middle of our flower. Okay, what are you guys saying? old classes like It's a Wonderful Life, says Linda. Christmas Vacation, says Marilyn. I haven't watched that for a while. I need to go back and watch that one. Gloria says both. Cheryl says classic mostly. And Marianne says any of them. Classical to modern. Okay. I did watch It's a White Christmas or White Christmas. I watched that the other day. I love that kind of stuff. And I want to watch A Miracle on, what is it, 34th Street? I want to watch that. Okay, next is our red. So we need, it's a mix. So we need a little Napthal Crimson on our palette, and we're going to use the Turner's Yellow. Oh, that's not Napthal. That's a different color I was using earlier today. This is Napthal. Okay. So this is 2-to-1. So we want more of our Turner's Yellow and a 1 part Napthal. Water it down a bit. Looks like watermelon red. Okay. And let's get our little hearts down here. Okay. I think the addition to the red is pretty cool. I need to go remind my husband to take the packages down to the post office, or he's going to miss getting them out today. So, you guys go ahead and do your red. I'm going to go do that really quick. Just remind him. I can see the time is like getting past us. So those are little red berries here. I'll put them in and then I'll be right back. Okay. A little more here. All right, get those reds in. It looks really nice when they have the reds in. And I will be right back, you guys. Okay, I'm back. Did that little reminder. Marilyn says she watched The Bishop's Wife. That one is a good one. I should go back and watch that. That's a good one. Oh, how fun. Marianne Baumgart said, It's a Wonderful Life will be on the big screen. That would be fun to go watch it in the movie theater. That's such a good movie. Reminds us of who we are and why we're all different, but we're all needed. Okay, just kind of making sure my reds are red. Okay. All righty. That wasn't too bad. That was pretty fun. I loved it. That was fun. Okay, we'll make sure it dries really good before we start in with our color pencil. All right. In the meantime, I'll just let you know what's going on here. So we have until the end of January. If you want to be in part of the subscription box art group, you can join by the end of January. Past then, we close the doors and they're closed for the whole year. Even though it's a 6-month subscription, we're going to not do another of those art subscriptions the remainder of the year. So we're just going to do a 6-month thing where you get six projects, 2 boxes, and then we're going to do a different type of subscription at the last 6 months of the year. And actually, it would be more like from July to January. We're going to do a different type of subscription. So we're going to change it up. We won't be doing the art subscription the rest of the year after this theme is done. So this theme is The Little Mermaid, and it's going to be really fun. If you love the sea and you love projects that are based on the sea and mermaids and the fairy tale type things, then you might enjoy this. You do receive all the paint and pencils and brushes and surfaces and e-patterns and quick reference sheets. You get all that stuff, plus extra gifts in your boxes. So it's really worth every penny. We always mark it down from what it would normally cost. If you were to do all those projects separately, it would be more for you to do it that way. But this way it comes to your doorstep. It's so nice and convenient if you're a person that's just hurried and don't know where to pick up all those art supplies and just maybe don't want to do that. Love the convenience of it coming to your door. This group is for you. We also have lots of fun together too. So it's a good group and we would love you to join us. And this is for 2026. And the doors are open. If you're interested to learn more about it, you can find it on our webpage at ericajoanne.com. Look under memberships and you'll find more about that group. But yes, to get back to what we're doing. So we're just going to do a 6-month art subscription. Then we're going to be done with that. And then we're going to do a different type of subscription. It's more of a stationary type of subscription. So there's no painting involved. You just get fun little goodies in the mail every month. That's what we're thinking we want to do. So be kind of thinking about that. I just want to give you a heads up. That's what's going to happen. So if you're interested in the art subscription box, just know it's going to be just this one-time 6-month thing, and then we won't pick it up again until 2027. That's the plan. If you have any questions, please ask. All right. let's see. We want to get our pencils out here. We have goldenrod. Let's start with that and work on our yellow areas. Okay, so we have this little yellow flower in the center. Let's do that first. I'm going to just kind of line around the brown and then shade up from the base of each petal. Just work on each petal one by one. Start where the shading is the darkest. You're going to use a little more pressure there and then bring it up across the petal and lighten up your pressure as you go down your petal. So I'm in my dark pressure, which a little more pressure there, going into my medium value and then my light value. It goes pretty quickly because each petal is very small. So dark value, medium value, light value. And it's just all due to pressure. A little more pressure for your dark value, less pressure for your medium value, and a feather touch for your light value. And then once you do that, you can make sure everything's dry. You don't want to, I have some wetness right there. I need to take off some of those pencil crumbs, but I do have some wetness right here, and I would be really sorry if I started brushing. So I'm going to wait until everything's nice and dry. And I just saw where this red is coming up here. So I'm going to touch that. We'll work on the areas that are dry. So these outer petals, I'm just going to fill them in. Just fill them in with color. These are the Prismacolor Premier. These are goldenrod. This is a goldenrod color. Now let's just shade along the base of those petals. So I'm just doing kind of a line right at the base, and then the rest of the shading, you go up each petal, but lighten up your pressure as you move up each petal. So move over here, do that over here. Color in the far side petals. Just color them in, and then do your shading at the base, and then bring up the shading into each petal a little bit. Far side petals, just fill them in with color. Shading along the bottom of the rest of the petals. Just a little bit. Okay, that's really it for your yellow, your goldenrod color. We use Prismacolor pencils. They're soft and they have lots of pigment in them. That's why they're artist quality. And you get the best of both worlds with using the paint and color pencil together. So I'll let you guys work on the yellow area of your design. Don't sweep it until everything's nice and dry. If you like what we do, please subscribe to our channel and hit the like button, and you'll get notifications as to when we are on live or even when we post a video. We'll be doing more of these. I really love to do this kind of stuff, so we will be doing more. This is just a little series. I was inspired by the little town of Paulsbo up north from us. It's only not even an hour away, maybe 45 to 50 minutes away from us. And it's the cutest little Scandinavian town. It's so cute. And during Christmas time, they do it up big. They have all kinds of festivals, and you learn more about their culture, and it's pretty neat. So while I was there, I was very inspired. I had to do something. Something Nordic. Okay. All right, we'll move into the next color. Let's use our poppy red next. I'm going to work on the base of these flowers just kind of down towards the base. That's going to be my darkest value. A little more pressure, and then lightly bring up that color into the rest of the flower. We are very close in color and value with the pencil and the paint, but you can still kind of tell that you are putting red down with your pencil. So it's a little bit of shading, dark value at the bottom, medium, and then light. Just fill it in. And our last one here, a little bit, bring it up. It's okay if you have a little bit of variegation or texture going on with your different elements. It's okay. I think that looks very nice, actually, and charming. So I'm just lining around my heart here to get it to look better. A little more shading at the tip of the heart. Start by lining around the heart. A little more shading at the tip. There we go. Kind of cleaned up those hearts, made them look a little better. Hello, Alice from Florida. Thank you for being here. We have 4 more days of this glorious fun. I love it. It's really helped me by putting me in the Christmas mood, making me think of Christmas. I love it. And I hope you're enjoying it too. Okay, for our berries, I'm just going to kind of line around the berry to reform it, reshape it, make it look nice. Make it look like a little round circle. This is with your poppy red pencil. Okay, I'm going to ask you another question. If you could, and now some of us might not want to do this, but if you could and you felt like strong enough to do it, would you rather go snow skiing or ice skating? What would you rather do? Snow skiing or ice skating? Oh, I see some ice skating, snow skiing. For me, I guess it kind of depends on what kind of snow ski. I really do love cross country skiing. I love that way better than going downhill skiing. So I'd love that. And Marianne says both, can't make a choice. They're both fun. We got another ice skating. Yeah. One time we went up to Leavenworth and did cross country skiing, and it was so magical. I will never forget that. It was so. We got there after there was some fresh snow, and they also just groomed the tracks for the cross country skiing. And we were just skiing around under trees and around trees that had just tons of snow on them. It was so beautiful. Man, it was amazing. Mary Robin says, I'll just look out the window at the snow. And Marianne Baumgart says, we used to ski out to a little lake to skate. Oh my gosh, you did both? How fun is that? Where was that, Marianne? That sounds awesome. That would be like my dream. Oh, that's neat. I don't feel like I'm strong enough to go ice skating right now, but that would be just magical if I could. And Carol says, I'll watch from a warm place. Yeah, some of us don't like to be out in the cold. Okay, now we'll work with our green. You want your olive green. Make sure you have a sharp pencil. So I'm going to start up here and I'm going to just work around my holly and put some nice points on my holly with my pencil. Little points. And let's shade the base of both sides of the holly. Your darkest value is down at the bottom of the base of that holly. Okay, bring it up. You can just work on both sides at the same time. And then that's how it would look. And Marianne says, Northern Wisconsin. Probably couldn't go that far now and skate afterwards. But such fun memories. Oh, that's so cool. Oh, what a neat thing to have memories about. I'm going to continue working on all the holly. So I'm just moving it around to work on the holly because that's what we're in that mode, the holly mode. Which makes me think of another question. A holly wreath or a fir, like a regular pine wreath, pine bough wreath? Holly wreath or pine needle? I don't know how to say it. Pine wreath. What do you like better? Oh, there goes my husband. He's taking packages down. Okay. I see evergreen. Yeah, evergreen wreath or holly wreath. Okay. Keep working here. Just shading up from the bottom. We always start where it's the darkest. In your shading, when you go to shade, always start where it's the darkest. Turn your brush, or turn your, not your brush, turn your pencil as you go so you can keep it sharp. Okay, I got the 3 clusters of holly leaves done. Now we'll work on, let's see, these hearts, these larger hearts down at the bottom. Let's line around those. Kind of clean them up. This is a great time to clean up your area. Let's just do a little shading at the base also of that heart. It's going to be darkest down at the bottom. Let's see, right there. So Carol says holly wreath would be different. I would go with that. Okay, yeah, it's different. There's such a thing though. Let's see. Marianne says, yep, had to clear the snow, then skate and ski home. Wow, that's a lot. You'd probably be super hungry when you're at home too. Oh, thank you, Linda. She says, such pretty center. I love the look of your little mistake. So pretty. I think I'll do the double color in the blue leaves. Thank you. Okay, go around and just do all those green hearts. Line around them, clean them up, and then shade from the bottom or the tip of the heart. You always start where it's darkest. Okay. That looks really a lot better. And then we just have a few more green leaves to do. And I think I was trying to decide whether I want to line the snowflake with the green or the brown, but I pretty much decided I want to do it with the green. So I'm going to line up from there. Just go around and add your snowflake lines. Meet them up with the yellow flower. You can go through these sections, but you don't want to go through the hearts. And one more. There. They look like branches. Okay, I'm going to shade. I was going to sharpen my pencil. And Gloria says pine wreath. My son, he's an entrepreneur for sure. And when he was a kid, a teenager, he decided to make holly wreaths one Christmas and sell them. So the next thing I know, like he would come up with an idea and then he was up and running and I didn't even know what was going on. I was spinning. So the next thing I know, I look out the window and he has a table down in our grove. We have a holly bush down there. He has a table down in the grove by the holly bush and he has clippers and he's clipping holly off the tree. He was probably like 14 and he's making holly wreaths. And he has big leather gloves on and wire. And I don't know how many of those holly leaves he sold, but boy, I don't know. Those things are stickery, and I would not want to make a holly wreath. But he saw the money in it, so he was going to make those, and it was free. It was like in our backyard. So, and we were fine with him using the holly bush because it was a big overgrown bush, so it was okay. But that's how he rolled. we never knew what was going on. And it was always, we were always figuring it out after he had almost done it. So, so that's how he did things. Oh, before I get into shading everything, I'm going to add these little berry stems. And these leaf stems. I could just go ahead and add all those. Since we're in the lining mode, you can go back and shade everything in a second. Whoops. Time to sharpen again. There we go. And he's still like that. He has his own business, and we never know what's going on. When we go to visit him, we're like, what are you doing now? He's always got something going on. Okay, all right. Got that in. Let's go in and start shading these smaller leaves. Always shade the base going up. Let's start out with our darker leaves. And if you need to line around some of those to kind of clean them up, you can do that. And then lightly line around the light green leaves, just a little bit. A little skippy line. And a little shading at the base of the light green leaves too. Skippy line on the light green leaves, a little shading at the base. Okay. And then you have this little base at the bottom of the flower. You can line around that and add some shading to that. Okay, I'm just thickening up the base of some of my stems as I go along too. Okay, we have some on this too. Right, that's good. And then one more here. Some of this is just very tiny. So you don't need too much, and when it comes to like all the detail, you're just, trying to get the shading in there, a little bit of lining. Darkening the base of those little leaves. Okay. Did we get them all? I think we did. Okay. Next is our light umber pencil. We're getting closer. We're almost done with our shading. Thank you, Alice. I love little projects too, because you don't have to do too much, they go quickly. And then you have something fun at the end. Well, hi, Cordy. Glad you're here. Oh, you fell asleep last night. You must be doing a lot. Okay, I'm going to start out in the middle. I'm going to go around the center. And let's just shade the bottom area of the center. So whatever you deem the bottom. For me, it's actually going to be the side because there's my hole. However you want to do it. Okay, lightly line around each yellow petal. You can skip that line along a little bit. Going around with my light umber pencil, and I have a nice sharp pencil. There's also a line at the end or the tip of each petal, just a little line there. Add that. Okay. Okay. So from there, let's work on the blue areas. We'll lightly line around our blue leaves. Skip that line along a little bit. Okay. I'm going to just shade along the bottom of the inner dark little leaves and right up here too. A little bit at the bottom. And then I'm going to pull a line up that leaf, just the one at the top, this leaf here. Let's put a little bit of shading in the light blue area at the base, just a touch. And right here too. Okay, let's do all those sections. My dad loved Christmas. And so to remember him, we put a golfer on our tree every year, and it was actually a wind chime. He had this golfing wind chime that all these golfers. And so when he passed and we were going through his stuff, we took that wind chime and took it apart and gave everyone a golfer in our family and made it an ornament for their Christmas tree. So we always put a golfer on our Christmas tree to remember my dad. And then he also loved, he had these like bells. And so we each got a bell and we ring it at Christmas time to remember him. This is a time I love to remember him too, because he really loved Christmas. And we'd spent time at Christmas time together. Usually got together. He would either come to our house or we would go to his. Okay, I just did that one. Let's move over to this one now. I just remembered him, thinking about him today. Okay, and a little bit around this area. Some line work down the middle, some shading down at the bottom. Okay, a little bit on this one too. All right, that looks good. Okay, we have a few other blue areas. Let's finish our blue. We have kind of like a blue heart right here. Let's slightly line around that. So my dad must be near because I can kind of smell his his cologne. He had a special cologne and kind of smell it. So he must be nearby. One year we went to Leavenworth together, and I was talking to some of you the other day about Leavenworth, Washington. They did have some flooding recently, and some of the road fell off into the river, and so they can't get into Leavenworth that way. They have to drive around really far, but we had the most magical Christmas in Leavenworth one year. It was just delightful to be with him and enjoy his company. Okay, I'm just kind of slightly lining around these little blue sections and shading the base of that. Okay, I'm gonna sharpen my pencil again. Okay. Oh, Cordy, I'm so sorry. Yes, that's so hard. But that is wonderful that you can be with her. You probably are tired. Yes. Yes, Robin. And when I ring the bell, an angel gets its wings. And Cordy says she has bells on her tree too. I love that. Okay, I'm going to just lightly line around these brown leaves. Oops. Just a skippy line there. Oops. And a nice line down the middle. A little bit of shading at the bottom. Okay, we'll do that on this side. Okay. Let's see. Got all this. Oh, we got to do these red flowers and these little hearts. So I'm going to move down to these little red hearts, do a little line work around those, shading at the bottom. A touch of shading at the bottom. Okay. So we have these little red flowers. Let's work on those. Skippy line, very light line around the yellow petals. Let's do a little shading down at the base of those flowers. And kind of up the side. I think that's good enough. I want to keep some of that yellow going on there. So a little shading just on the red area. Can lightly line around the yellow petals. And shading at the base and side of the red. And one more. Okay. A little bit around the petals. Okay. I think we're done with that. So we can start in with our highlights here soon. We got the color on, so that's good. Okay, let's make sure and erase anything that's not supposed to be there. And let's go ahead and put our fast drying glaze medium on. This is the Josania fast drying glaze medium. And I'm just going to put a little bit on my palette paper. You want a dry brush. And this will create a barrier coat for your piece so that you can put paint over it. And if you get any smudges or anything, you can erase it, or you can take off things that any strokes you don't like, you can take them off. I'm using a dry brush, my medium, and I'm not overworking. I'm not adding pressure. I'm just lightly pulling the medium across my piece. This will create a barrier coat. If I put too much pressure or I overwork this, I will smear my pencils. I don't want to do that. I'm just trying to get the medium down so it will dry and create a nice barrier coat. All right. This will just kind of keep things clean for you. So put that on and then let it dry. Fast drying glaze medium you can find on our website. It comes in a smaller bottle. You can get it in a 2-ounce bottle, or you can get it in this large bottle that I just showed you. So and if you're in our art subscription box group, you would have your Fast Iron Glaze medium that we sent to you in your box. All right, so fun. Now, when I was drawing this up, it was like, oh, it's not perfect, but you know, like some spaces are a little tighter. But I thought, you know what, this is artwork and it looks good. I like it. It's okay. It has personality. So we'll do some fun highlights and that will make this piece pop. Right now is the ugly stage. Got it really dark and now we're going to lighten it up with the paint. Well, Linda says she thinks this is her favorite. Oh, that's awesome. Cool, cool. I did forget to put a line right there with my pencil, but I can add that later. Okay, I'm going to let this dry my heater down by my feet. Got a little heater down there. All right. Okay, telling you, if you're just coming in, I'm Erica Joanne from Erica Joanne Art, and I love to combine paint and color pencil, and you get the best of both worlds that way. So we just did washes of paint on watercolor paper, and we also ended up shading and lining with some colored pencils to kind of clarify and clean things up. And now we're going to add paint again, but this time it will be full strength. It won't be washes of paint. It will be full strength. And we'll add some highlights and make it pop a little better. It's always so fun. Okay. Looking good. Looking good. Okay, I want you to put some warm white on your palette. And we'll be lightening up a few of the colors with the warm white. You'll want your round brush. I do think I want to add a little pink, some little pink highlights on my red areas. So I'm going to start with that. So I'm going to pull this out so you can see it better. Okay, so I'm going to use some warm white and this Naphthol Crimson. Let's just do a 1-to-1. That's a little dark for me, so I'm going to go back in with some warm white. Lighten it up. I want a lighter pink. Light, light, light. There we go. That's more light. So just keep adding warm white until you get a lighter pink. And I've taken out some of my color on a paper towel so I don't have too much color on my brush. And I'm just going to go in and add little pink highlights to this flower right here. I'm just stroking in a few here and there. Okay, and then we've got these hearts. Let's stroke some on the left side of each heart, each red heart. You might have to add 2 coats just to get it nice and bright. I'm going to go back to my other highlights and make sure it's nice and bright. Okay, that's good enough. Okay, I'm also going to put some highlights on my little berries. So just like at the top, just a little touch of pink on each berry. Okay. Okay, I'm going to add a little more warm white to that, my dirty brush. So when I mean dirty brush is I still have that pink, adding warm white to it, mixing it on my palette together. So I'm creating a lighter pink. Might even add a little more here. It's a nice light pink. I'm going to go back and just brighten a few of those pink highlights. Okay. All right. That's good for the pink. Now let's add some warm white to our yellow. Let's see. I'm not actually gonna add it to the yellow paint. I just want to add it to my yellow flowers. So just straight warm white. And let's just put a little highlight at the tips or the ends of the petals of the yellow flower and just pull that down. I mean, you're doing just a tiny bit. Kind of pull it down and let it fade into the petal a little bit. So you're just doing touches of warm white. Mine was kind of watery, so I'm going to go back and just add some brighter highlights at the tips of these petals. There we go. And then we have these yellow flowers. How about we add, oops, that's really watery. Hold on. Let's try that again. I need to take the water out of my brush. Not so much water. Okay. So the tips of some of the petals, how about like that? Let's just do 1, 2, just the tips, 3, and then how about this end one? And one more here. 2, 3, one right there. Yeah, if you get too much water on your brush and it's liquidy, then you need to wipe some of that off. I'm going to go back in and brighten up a few of these little tips on my leaves, or not my leaves, my petals. A few little tips. Just brighten them up. A few coats helps a lot. Okay. Okay. Let's do the tips of these blue leaves with the warm white also. So I put a little more pressure, especially in these bigger areas, a little more pressure up at the top where the tip is, and then lightly pull that stroke down and lighten up your pressure really quick. So a little bit at the tip, pull it down, lighten up your pressure. Again, I'm just adding a little more to brighten up that highlight. A little more. Okay. Thinking. I'm gonna do a little bit on these other blue leaves. Okay. Kind of fun, huh? Okay. You know, I think I'm going to finish out with some dots and then my snow. But I do have this just, I kind of want to do a little highlight on this darker area right there. I wonder if I pull that brown in and add some warm white to the brown. So a lighter tan color. I just did kind of a brush mix of brown and tan. Brown and warm white. Sorry, I said tan. I must be getting tired. Just a little bit on the tips there. If you take out some of the color on a paper towel and some of the moisture, you can pull that down like a dry brush stroke. I'm just using my finger to help that along. A little more here. Okay. That just lightened it up a little bit. Okay. I think I'm going to do some black dots. I know that sounds, no, brown dots. That's what I want to do. Brown dots. Well, it sounds kind of funny, but I really want to do that for some reason. So you want your brown earth. And then we'll do our white snow. So a stylus. Just get your paint diluted a little bit. You can use water or flow medium to do that. Okay. I'm just going to put one right here. They're just little dots to kind of enhance our snowflake. Let's put one at the base of the holly leaves. And how about one kind of down underneath the brown leaves? There's a little space there. And I'm going to put some right here where the branches meet up. And here. So right here. And here. Not that one, right here. Here. Okay, and then how about we do one at the base of our pointed leaves? This is all done with brown earth. Okay. Okay, I'm trying to see if I want any more of these. I might go ahead and just put a dot over this section of the flower. I feel like it's kind of lost in translation anyway, so I'm just going to put a dark dot there. All right, that looks good. I'm going to leave it. Warm white is next. Let's let these dots dry first, though. Get them nice and dry. Okay, let's do another this or that. And then I'll pick a winner for today. I'm going to let this dry here. Let's see. You think. Okay. Do you like to open a gift on Christmas Eve? Or would you rather just not open anything on Christmas Eve? So open on Christmas Eve or not open on Christmas Eve? A gift. Would you rather open a gift on Christmas Eve? Or no? Don't open a gift on Christmas Eve. So we got a not open, yes open. Okay. In our family, we do have the tradition. It started with, I don't know, my parents did it, but I don't know if they did it when they were kids. I'll have to ask them. Where did that tradition come from? I have a stepdad that I can ask. So not open, yes open. And then Liz said they always opened all their gifts on Christmas Eve. That's cool. And Marianne says they always had Christmas jammies. That's fun. Okay, now we're ready to splatter. So you want some warm white on your palette. The splattering, I think, pulls it all together. Gives it that finishing touch of winter and Christmas. Okay, just go ahead and add some water to your brush. Mix it in with your paint, and we're using warm white. And then go ahead and pull your brushes up slowly. You're about 6 inches away from your piece. There's a drop on mine. If you get too much, you might end up with a big drop. Too much water. So I'm getting all my little splatter on, and then I'll go back in with my chunky splatter. So I got that on. And Sharon says one gift on Christmas Eve, the rest on Christmas morning. Oh, thank you, Robin. That's sweet. Okay. Let's see here. Okay, we want to just go back in. I love the chunky snow. Oops, that's a bit chunky. That's a little big. Maybe not that big. Pull that up. Okay, let's try this again. Maybe a smaller part of my stylus. And you just randomly, the easiest way I find to do this is just choose some splatter and go right over it, make it bigger. It feels a little more natural that way. Okay, we have one right here, there. And if you get some splatter in the darker areas, you can see it better. This is so fun. I love this part. I love adding snow. Okay. Just dipping and dotting. Dip and dot. Okay, one right here. Are you guys having fun? I sure am. Okay, that was so fun. Look how that just adds so much to it. Really fun. Okay, and then to sparkle it up, you can add little rhinestones to it. The embellishments that you buy off our website have different sizes of rhinestones and different colors. You can do that, and you can also add glitter. Like, I'm kind of thinking the light blue areas would be fun to add glitter to. Or maybe the yellow areas, add glitter. So you can just have a lot of fun with it. The way you do the glitter is use your all-purpose sealer as your glue, and then just sprinkle glitter on. Josana also makes an opal dust, which is nice, that you can brush on. So if you like that, you can do that too. So before you glue this, make sure and cut out this little thing right there. Make sure and cut that out. I find it easiest to cut it with an X-Acto knife. Whatever you do, just be very careful and don't cut yourself, okay? Be very, very careful. But I like to just cut that with an X-Acto knife and then pop it out and then glue it on my wood piece. And I'm not going to do any gluing tonight because this has been a long day. We've had a lot going on today, so I need to kind of get off and say goodbye. But I will be on again tomorrow, and perhaps we'll do some gluing tomorrow. All right. Well, this was so fun. So much fun. Let me go through your comments. I will just randomly pick a winner And our winner today, let me think. What could we give you? Our winner today will win a liner brush. How about that? I'm going to write it down. So this is number 6, and you get a liner brush. And let me go through your comments. Oh, that's wonderful, Carol Lee. I'm glad you did the Sunflower Autumn. That is a wonderful piece. That is probably one of my favorite. I say that a lot, but that one, I have to say, it's kind of my favorite. I get like warm fuzzies all over when I look at that piece. Okay. Gretchen Hillman, you are the winner today of a liner brush. Congratulations. I got you on my list. And I'm checking it twice. So congratulations, Gretchen. Thanks for tuning in. And thank you guys for all your likes. And please let your friends know that this is what we're doing. If they're interested in learning paint and pencil, this is the perfect way to do it. They can get started, and you can use what you have to start. Just use what you have. And then you can always invest in other things as you go along. But it's always good to just try it, right? You're welcome, Gretchen. Congratulations. Okay, well, I will say goodbye. Ta-ta for now. We will see you tomorrow with a new piece, and the email will go out in the morning. So be watching for that so you can get your papers downloaded and ready to get on and work with me. Thank you, Cheryl. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed paint and pencil with you too. Thank you so much. Good night, you guys.